What is ValAsta? Most of our client base is, I know somebody who's getting great results. Can you tell me what this is?
I've been on ValAsta for about 1.5 years, and it's made a huge change in my life.
How does it work? How can it help me? Is this a medicine? How is it different than the medicine my doctor's given me?
But since she's been taking ValAsta, it's helped her. And I started taking it for my asthma.
He's doing a lot.
And I hardly ever have to hit my puffer anymore. Thank goodness.
Yes.
It's not a medicine, it's a food supplement, and it's natural.
I have so much more energy. The arthritis that I had in my hand is gone.
ValAsta is like juicing 1,000 carrots, 1,000 tomatoes, 2.5 salmon a day, over 1,200 cups of blueberries. That is the antioxidant power that's in ValAsta, is that equivalent of food.
When you do this kind of work, you got to have your hands. I mean, everything's got to function right, and I think ValAsta's really helped me out quite a bit doing that.
It's just life-changing. It's that I'm not sitting home miserable anymore.
ValAsta is now in all 50 states and 10 countries, simply by word of mouth. It didn't start out with a business model. There was no business plan to do this. This was done for very selfish reasons to save my own life. In 2003, my doctor proceeds to tell me that I have a bone blood cancer called polycythemia vera.
When Sam was diagnosed with cancer, it was very scary. Now, as a nurse, I had heard of this cancer. It's very rare.
There was no chemo, no radiation. When you're faced with a situation where your life is sort of hanging in the balance, the motivation's pretty strong to go ahead and use every tool there to extend your life. I have a master's in biochemical engineering. I was very versed in organic chemistry. I have 41 international and domestic patents. I taught biochemistry at a college in Houston.
ValAsta kind of came about because of his condition. And I mean, we were doing research like mad.
The epiphany that came to me was that there were animals or leaves or something that didn't get cancer. And out of that, when I did the research, I found these 5 animals: salmon, pink flamingos, sharks, elephants, and naked mole rats. Scripps Oceanographic, they had done research on this. They had identified a common carotenoid that existed across all 5 of those species, astaxanthin. It comes from an algae.
We had a company, Algae to Energy, that he was working in growing algae, and he had created all these patents. And
I knew how to grow the algae. I knew how to stress the algae to produce the astaxanthin, but I was eating the algae itself. And that went on until 2015. In 2015, I was declared cancer-free. I had no symptoms. Then when my family got these same diseases, it was easy for me to say, hey, you need to do this, and it worked. We decided to do this on cancer with family and friends first, but their arthritis went away. Their type 2 diabetes went away. Their irritable bowel went away. Their Parkinson's tremors went away. So I go back in the lab and in the research with the National Institute of Health to figure out what's causing these diseases. And I found 4 free radicals. These are chemical species called ROS, reactive oxygen species. That's what causes over 90% of human inflammatory disease, are those 4 free radicals. The ValAsta neutralizes all 4 of those and stops it.
When you control your level of inflammation by neutralizing free radicals, then you control your health.
We call these inflammatory diseases by names. We have arthritis, cancer, heart disease, lupus, type 2 diabetes, irritable bowel syndrome, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS. These are all inflammatory diseases. These are out on the tips of symptoms that the doctors treat for. But the trunk of that tree that generates all those branches where those diseases reside are made up of only the 4 free radicals. So if we can cut the trunk of the tree off, all of those diseases go away. And that's what ValAsta does. ValAsta, and we have a patent on this, what ValAsta does is it reattaches the glucose back on to the extracted astaxanthin. The body loves glucose. It's called a Trojan horse, but it'll grab that glucose, and when the glucose goes into your cell, it pulls the astaxanthin in with it. So that separates ValAsta from all the other astaxanthins that are out there.
With some brands, the gastric acid can kill it off, so you're not getting the benefit. Your body metabolizes it in the small intestine. ValAsta is 500 or 600 times stronger than a lot of over-counter supplements. They like to lump all antioxidants in one bucket. Our bucket is quite different.
Because of the increased efficiency in the absorption of the ValAsta product, we're economically lower cost. Other astaxanthin compounds, you have to use 8 times more. So you got to factor in a factor of 8.
And getting that through to new clients about the strength of it is very important. Then they realize you can't just eat a cup of blueberries, a couple of carrots, and be okay. This actually is very strong. The strongest antioxidant.
ValAsta is sold in 2 sizes, a 50 ml bottle and a 100 ml bottle, and they're vacuum pumped bottles.
The amount that somebody would take depends on their weight and health status. So some people, a bottle would last them 30 to 45 days, and other people would go through it quicker.
Each pump of the bottle puts out 13.5 milligrams. That is how we measure it, and we tell people how many pumps to take. I like to use it in yogurt, so I'll squirt it into a tub of yogurt right in the middle. Just dip in with your spoon a bite of yogurt and eat it like that. It's really good. We provide capsules with it. A lot of our clients will just squirt it into the capsule, and if you use a little holder that you can purchase, it's easy to fill.
Duke is my little dachshund. He's 16 years old. He was diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago, and they told me I was going to have to put him down in about 3 weeks. I said, I'm going to take him home and see if I can do something with the ValAsta. And Duke takes it as a capsule, but he's a little more particular in that I got to put it with peanut butter. And he takes a capsule every day. He's still alive to this day, and his tumor went away in about 30 days. Some people prefer not to have the capsule. My mother, when she was 88, was having kidney failure. She's a type 2 diabetic. And I said, why don't you try the ValAsta? She said, well, I don't like the oil. She said, I like chocolate. So thanks to my mother, we now have it in chocolate bars, and we have an entire facility where we produce it in chocolate bars. That's about 1/3 of our total business is in chocolate bars. Chocolate has the fats in it that makes the ValAsta so much more soluble. My mother, she's still alive today. She's 92. Her kidney function came back, and her type 2 diabetes, her insulin requirements have dropped dramatically.
You want to start as prevention, and I've told many clients this, it's the best insurance policy that you can take out on yourself. If you want to avoid doctors, chemo, radiation in your future, it's the best insurance policy to take out on yourself. As you start to feel inflammation come down, you feel younger, you feel like you can do more, you have more energy. I think a lot of people are run down, they're exhausted, and they think that that's how aging is supposed to be, and they're just going to get used to it. And we're trying to tell people to get on the prevention side that you don't have to get used to feeling bad. You can feel good, you can feel energy, you can have better quality of life.
Medicine treats the symptoms. We're eliminating the cause of those inflammatory diseases, and that's what ValAsta does.